How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we create comics and manga. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, be sure to check out some of my other videos. We've already covered so many cool topics such as creating concept art, how to letter your comics, how to choose panels and effects, and much more. In today's video, I thought I would make an updated video in response to one of my most liked videos on this channel. The video I'm referring to is none other than how to make shonen manga in 2019. Since this channel has come a long way since then, I thought it would be about time we focus in on how we should be tackling the shonen genre in 2020. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a 20-year-old freelance artist. I've had my comics published in several magazines, including Search Magazine and International Voices. I've recently won an art contest at my university, earning me $50 for this drawing and $375 for this comic right here. Some of you may know me from my debut in Saturday AM, the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. For those of you new around here, Saturday AM is a publishing company inspired by Shonen Jump with over 100 issues released. Some of their most well-known comic creators include White Manga, Saigami Project, and Jay Oden. The company's grown so much over the years, having released several physical books, an official app, licensed toys, and much more. Please support them. I'll link all of their social media accounts down in the description below. If you go back a few issues, specifically to issue 106 of Saturday AM, you'll find my one-shot Second Serving. I'll link a whole video going over that whole process in the YouTube card in the top right corner. Currently, I'm working on a series set to debut in one of Saturday AM's magazines, so keep an eye out for when that releases. Getting back to the topic at hand, I've dealt with my fair share of shonen manga. If you check out my MyAnimeList account, you'll see I've spent 113 days total watching anime, and 58 days total reading manga. Yeah, not my proudest moment. Aside from just being a content creator myself, I'm also a huge fan of comics and manga. Because of this, I want to share with you all the trends and hacks I've learned about current shonen manga, so you can create your own hit series. Don't expect me to talk about the big three, Naruto, Bleach, or One Piece too much in this video, because in my opinion, times are changing. While yes, those classics will always have diehard fans, it's very hard to break out into that target audience when everyone else is making mediocre clones of the same thing. Taking a look at the current state of Shonen Jump, One Piece, the backbone of Jump, is on a sharp decline, having sold 40 million copies during its peak in 2011, but barely selling 8 million copies in 2018. Kishimoto's new manga, Samurai 8, is on the verge of getting the axe because it's just generic. No manga Kishimoto creates will ever live up to the standard he created with the hit series Naruto. Simply put, trends that worked 10 years ago no longer work now. If you look at Shonen Jump's business model, they cut series left and right. It's rare if a series lasts longer than a year. For that reason, I want to take a look at what series survived to 2020. The big standouts in recent Shonen Jump are Dr. Stone, The Promised Neverland, and Chainsaw Man. Everything else in the magazine is either already an established property or about to be chopped. In this video, we're going to analyze these three series and break down how they are thriving. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video because most of these series are all set to end near 2020, and you might just be the next creator taking their spot. I want you to know exactly what you need to create if you want to attack this market. I know what you're thinking, Monitor, I don't live in Japan, there's no way I can create shonen manga. A while ago, I would have agreed with you. I even have a whole video about it, and I'll link that in the top right corner right now. However, many artists not from Japan have found success in the manga industry. Shonen Jump is currently hosting a worldwide manga contest through Metabang Paint right now. Judges include Toriyama, Oda, Kato, Horikoshi, and Inoue, and they're looking for the next big thing. If you want to hear more about artists not from Japan succeeding in the manga industry, I'll also link that in the YouTube card section on the top right corner right now. It is possible to make shonen manga. It doesn't matter where you're from or how old you are. Anyone can be an artist. That's why I want you to get some value out of this video and find the motivation to go out there and create your own work. Let's jump right into it. The first series I want to take a look at is Dr. Stone by Boichi and Richiro Inagaki. I'm sorry if I butcher those names. Inagaki is best known for writing Eyeshield 21. Boichi is best known for his past works, Sunken Rock and Trigun. Story-wise, Dr. Stone breaks the traditional shonen structure. When thinking about shonen works, the first thing that comes to my mind is epic battles. That's because series like Dragon Ball, Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and so on have set that precedent. Dr. Stone is different in the sense that it prioritizes brain power. If you think about it, another classic shonen manga did something very similar. That's right, I'm talking about Death Note. Death Note was an anomaly in the magazine because it was so different from the traditional shonen manga. Dr. Stone perfectly blends the two worlds of traditional shonen and unconventional elements by infusing witty dialogue and concepts with fun and energetic characters. Every chapter of Dr. Stone will teach you something you didn't know before. This is a huge selling point because as a reader, we're looking for something new and exotic. I'm sure you found yourself turned off from trying a new manga or anime because it reminded you too much of something you've already seen. If you've seen my 6 bad tropes in anime series, you'll remember me mentioning my dislike for the isekai genre. Long story short, isekai stories are all practically identical. Shonen manga can fall into that same pitfall too. Why read a new mediocre battle manga when I could just go read the classics that I know are a good battle manga? Dr. Stone manages to put itself into its own category by presenting itself as a sci-fi mystery and not a fantasy battle manga. Dr. Stone further separates itself with its unique art style. If you compare Boichi's pages to some other shonen works, I'm sure you'll see what I mean. Boichi's able to hyperbolize expressions so well to the point that characters don't even look human anymore. At the same time, Boichi is able to beautifully depict the post-apocalyptic setting using hatching and clean shading techniques. Boichi's inking technique is very crisp and bold, giving Dr. Stone's characters a very polished look. Everything I mentioned relates back to one concept. Dr. Stone's popularity stems from its ability to disassociate itself from the shonen genre, while still remaining within that shonen genre. What do I mean by this? So going back to my point about Death Note, ask yourself, why did people like Death Note? For one, the story was more in the realistic style with realistic art to match. This was very different from the cartoonier manga published alongside of it. Secondly, the presentation of a cat and mouse game between two geniuses created an interesting battle of intelligence. This was very different from the battle manga published alongside of it. Finally, Death Note's art style is very dark and bold, making you question if this series was truly a Shonen Jump manga or a seinen manga. Bringing the discussion back to Dr. Stone, this work is able to achieve everything I just mentioned with Death Note, but also incorporates elements that made the battle manga published alongside of it popular. If we take a look at Dr. Stone, we see colorful personality types, action scenes, fan service, and the power of friendship. These are all elements that make shonen manga so appealing. Normally having only these shonen tropes is enough for your work to fall into mediocrity. However, in Dr. Stone's case, so much more is brought to the table because of it. So by sprinkling those elements on top, you get a standalone work that does not stand alone. Transitioning into our next analysis, I want to take a look at a series that is the complete opposite of Dr. Stone. The Promised Neverland, written by Kalu Shirai and illustrated by Posoka Demizu. Shirai doesn't have much of a track record, having only completed 2 one-shots for Jump before publishing The Promised Neverland. Similarly, Demizu has only illustrated 2 one-shots prior, one of which being another story by Shirai called Poppy's Wish. When I say The Promised Neverland is the opposite of Dr. Stone, I'm referring to the execution. Concept-wise, The Promised Neverland is similar to Dr. Stone because instead of flashy battles, this story is also a battle of the wits. Like Death Note, The Promised Neverland is a dark cat and mouse story with horror and psychological elements in it. Unlike Death Note, The Promised Neverland's grim story is hidden behind Demizu's cutesy artwork. The pairing creates a juxtaposition unique to this manga, setting it apart from the rest. This technique is a powerful one to note. Other series like School Life have made use of this juxtaposition to captivate their readers. Similar to Dr. Stone, The Promised Neverland's art style is very fluid and able to drastically switch from adorable to horrific. The artist has a unique inking technique where they use a lot of textures and details in the backgrounds and props, but keep a very clean and simplified inking style for their characters. This contrast is very effective in drawing attention to both elements without losing any detail in each panel. The Promised Neverland's plot development is not like other power creep shonen as well. The story sticks to its mystery elements and manages to keep you on the edge of your seat. The most scary aspect of The Promised Neverland is how normal is presented and the story is portrayed because you know something menacing is occurring behind the scenes. Have you noticed the trend between these two series yet? Compared to the previous big 3, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, these two series are not carbon copies of mainstream shonen. Each manga keeps just enough elements to consider it a shonen while adding in their own flavors. I believe the only way to succeed in Shonen Jump in 2020 is to set the new trends. You really have to think outside of the box while staying within the box. Transitioning into our third analysis, I want to take a look at one of Shonen Jump's newest additions, Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Fujimoto is best known for his previous Jump series, Fire Punch. Interestingly enough, Chainsaw Man reminds me of another manga with a similar name. I'm talking about last season's Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo, the author who brought us Soul Eater. In Fire Force, humans suddenly start combusting and turning into rampaging demons called Infernals. To combat this, a special group of firefighters are designated to battle these demons. Similarly, in Chainsaw Man, it's about a group that has to solve cases related to demon appearances. Chainsaw Man is similar in premises to another Shonen Jump series, Blue Exorcist, in the sense that the main character has demonic powers and joins a group to battle other demons. In Blue Exorcist, some friendly demons work alongside the Exorcist. This same idea can be found with Chainsaw Man as well, with the demons completing contracts with the owners. This just goes to show you no idea is 100% original. Everything has been done before, so don't be afraid to borrow ideas from other artists. For that reason though, I can't say Chainsaw Man's premises is too unique. On the other hand, being able to turn your entire body into a chainsaw is a concept that I don't think I've seen before. I've only read the first 30 chapters, so my opinion may not be fully formulated, but I can see how the gritty art style and cheeky main character have made this series successful. Chainsaw Man is a dark fantasy manga where humans coexist with demons. Our main character is similar to other shonen protagonists in the sense that he is aloof and battles enemies. He is unique, however, in the sense that he is entirely selfish. I thought it was a breath of fresh air to see a protagonist do everything for the sole benefit of himself. In shonen, we're used to seeing tropes like the power of friendship, so seeing a character so contradictory is a major appeal. Art style wise, Chainsaw Man is very sketchy and graphic. I was surprised at how much gore was presented in early chapters. I guess Jump has always been accepting of bloody scenes, but some of the battles found in Chainsaw Man are just gruesome. The artist for Chainsaw Man isn't afraid to use sharp and quick line work to portray movement and flesh flying all over the place. There really is no restraint when it comes to Chainsaw Man's violence. I think one of Chainsaw Man's biggest success factors is the author's ability to create realistic characters. Each character is flawed, and they outwardly know it. The protagonist isn't a hero, and he has no intention of being the savior, even though everyone else wants him to be. If something benefits him, then he'll do it, and he'll do what needs to be done to secure his well-being. Pair this with badass dark fantasy elements, and you get a rebellious manga shining in a pile of mainstream battle fantasies. If I want you to take one thing away from studying all three of these series, it's that you need to see the shonen genre as a stepping stone and not as a limitation. Don't be afraid to get edgy or over the top with your work. In fact, it's usually the weird and ridiculous stories that people remember more than the safe generic options. As cheesy as it sounds, tell the story you want to tell. Remember, nothing in life is completely original, so it's up to you to execute the story in such a way that people will take something new away from it. Making a story about a loud and obnoxious boy chasing his dreams and becoming the world's best something may have worked years ago, but in today's economy it's a surefire way to be overshadowed. If you want a real shot at succeeding in the shonen genre, expand your studies to other genres of manga, explore shoujo romances and seinen drama, and bring the elements that you liked back into your shonen work. Don't lose hope thinking that shonen manga artists can only be from Japan. Shonen Jump is currently looking for the new talent right now to replace their big three. The manga industry is beginning to really respect mangaka from around the world, so take advantage of the ongoing Jump Manga contests because they may be your breakthrough moment. Just take a look at Webtoon's success with Tower of God and The God of High School. They were both created by people like you and me, yet they were picked up for an anime adaptation by Crunchyroll. Anything is possible in 2020, and you just need to put in the hours to get your work out there. You never know what can happen. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below telling us about your favorite currently published Shonen Jump manga and why. Be sure to check out my social media accounts linked down below so you can keep up with all my manga projects. As always, keep creating, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.